Very good afternoon, dear all participants. On behalf of Amity Institute of Indian System of Medicines, I welcome you all to the valedictory ceremony of the 6 days long yoga workshop on the title Yoga and Mindfulness, Innovative Strategies and Practices. So you must be knowing that we have organized this workshop from 10th of June to 15th of June, and today is the valedictory ceremony. And with all your kind support and motivation, that we are able to conduct this workshop very successfully. And today we are blessed and very blessed and fortunate that our respected Dr. W. Sulvamurthy, President, Amity Science, Technology, Innovation and Foundation, has come to grace the occasion and with the kind words of his talk on the topic Yoga for Health, a Scientific Perspective. So I'm extremely happy that sir is with us and we welcome you, sir. And before that, I welcome also Dr. Didi Vichitra. He's president in International Ashtanga Yoga Organization. And I also welcome Dr. Neha Kathuria. She's visiting faculty, Amity Institute of Indian System of Medicines. I also welcome Dr. Vinamra Sharma sir from AISM department. And I request Dr. Vinamra Sharma sir to kindly introduce about Dr. W. Sulvamurthy. Like, words are not enough to describe sir, but we want that everyone should know about sir. Thank you so much, and over to you, Vinamra Sharma sir.
Thank you, ma'am, and my namaste to respected Dr. Sulvamurthy sir and all the panelists present here. So it's my honor to introduce respected Dr. W. Sulvamurthy sir. Dr. W. Sulvamurthy sir is presently working with Amity University as a president, Amity Science, Technology and Innovation Foundation. Also, Director General for Amity Directorate of Science and Innovation and the Chair Professor for Life Sciences. Sir is also designated as a Chancellor, Amity University, Chhattisgarh. Sir is a Master in MSc in Human Physiology from Christian Medical College, Vellore. Sir is doctorate and PhD from Faculty of Medical Science from Delhi University in 1982. Sir is a Doctorate of Science, DSc from Bangalore in 2006. Sir has also awarded DSc honors from the 5 university in the recognition of his outstanding research and development contribution in the life sciences. Sir has served Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, under the Government of India for last 40 years, in which all the health-related life science research technology were developed and inducted in the armed force for keeping the health and efficiency of soldiers even in extreme operational environment. This biomedical research immensely benefited the armed force personnel and gave a lot of spin-off benefits to the society at large. Sir has contributed in the R&D, nanotechnology, application of defense, application of yoga from the armed force, military, psychology, and others. We can say that Sir is the man who introduces the application of yoga for the armed force. Sir is the leader of first Indo-Soviet scientific expedition to the Arctic Circle for polar physiological research. Sir was closely associated with Department of Science and Technology for the promotion of the health-related research. Sir is a chairman of TAC in DST in the field of health sciences for international cooperation with many countries for more than a decade. Sir is also an area coordinator for the biomedical technology under ILTP program with Russia. Sir is steering the proposal of IOCNIC flagship program on the health at the Indian European Union GSO meeting at Delhi, also the Brussels. Sir is presently member of scientific advisory body to the cabinet, particularly in the field of lifestyle sciences, including health research. Sir is a chairman of program management board in the Society of Biomedical Technology. Sir is a member of high power committee appointed by ICMR to review its 12th plan proposal. Sir is significantly contribution to biomedical research development. Sir has awarded a number of prestigious research awards, including CSIR National Award for the S in Science and Technology Innovation, presented by Honorable Prime Minister of India in 2012. Academic Merced Mirakunov Award for the contribution of high altitude medicine for Kyrgyz Republic in 2012. Technology Leadership Award by DRDO in 2010, presented by Defense Minister Lifetime Achievement Award from the Honorable President of India in the field of clinical and preventive cardiology in 2006. With this, I think words are very less to say about speaker sir. So I request Dr. Salvarmurthy sir, please proceed the session with your kind word and the blessings. And definitely the audience and the participant will be benefited with the research insights of yoga for the health perspectives. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vinamra Sharma. Can you hear me now properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all those participants who have joined us today on the last day of the 5-day celebration, which Amity Institute of Indian Systems of Medicine have organized to commemorate the International Day of Yoga, which is going to be celebrated on 21st of June. So I'm happy to see Dr. Vichitra. He has been associated with Amity. He has been coming as guest speakers, visiting faculties, and also to see Dr. Neha Katuria. And she is also a visiting faculty with us. My compliments to both Dr. Swati Madan, Dr. Vinamra Sharma, for having taken this initiative to organize the 5-day program from 10th to 15th. Today is the last day. And regularly, I have been seeing some of the program. So they have taken meticulous care to see the initial yoga practice, demonstrations, then the lectures, meticulously organized. So today morning we had His Holiness had come, and he is a NGO representative in the UN. So he was there. So like this, the very, very distinguished speakers have come for this event. Compliments to both Dr. Swati Madan and Dr. Vinamra Sharma for having organized this event along with Dr. Neha also. So my compliments to all the participants. See, this is a very important endeavor to celebrate International Day of Yoga. Yoga, as you are all aware, it started in our country 5,000 years ago when civilization did not exist elsewhere in the world. So people, the so-called developed countries, were there when they were hunting for the food with stone. Our people were actually making sculpture on, with they were creative. So civilization existed, science existed. So we had Vedas, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Yoga, Ayurveda. All this existed in our country. So that is the rich heritage of civilization, and also the root of yoga existed 5,000 years ago. And it has benefited the society at large, not just only keeping good health, but to awaken your true existence and also awaken your Kundalini Shakti and to prevent disease, to promote positive health. So all these are the beneficial effects of yoga. So having known all this and having established so many centers, more than 300 centers in our country exist on yoga. And with all this, India has become a lighthouse for yoga, yogic science. And Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has now taken yoga to global level by making United Nations celebrate this day, 21st June, which is going to be celebrated on 21st June, which is the longest day. If you count the number of hours of the day, it's the longest day. So they have chosen rightly where the light will be there all the time, most of the time, particularly if you go to Russia and also Scandinavian countries, the sun doesn't set there. So the 21st June has been selected very rightly, appropriately to celebrate the International Day of Yoga. And this International Day of Yoga, when we are celebrating, it is just not only to have these 5 days, but every day has to be a day of yoga. It is just not only International Day of Yoga on 21st June, but every day one has to practice yoga. Not only just practice yoga, but you have to lead a yogic way of life. That is the purpose of celebrating the International Day of Yoga, just to reignite, reinforce, reiterate our thoughts that yoga should become a part of our lifestyle. It should be the way of life. So this is to bring that to the notice of everyone Today, we are celebrating in Amity. During the last about 5 days, we have been celebrating. So on behalf of Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and also the Dr. Chancellor, Dr. Sim Chauhan, and all members of Amity fraternity, I welcome each and every one of you who have joined us today. I could see Dr. B.C. Das, who is the Dean of Health and Allied Sciences, have also joined today. So I am going to make a brief presentation, not brief, it will be for another half an hour. I'll make the presentation. And so let me share my screen. So do you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
So I'm going to look at the scientific perspectives, because everyone says yoga is good for health and it is for holistic health. Why do we say holistic health? Because health, we exist, human existence is there in three levels: Stula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karana Sharir. There are three levels of your existence. Stula, your physical body, we exist, and there is life. I am talking, I'm seeing, I'm hearing, and so all this. So I am alive. So this is the physical existence. But if I do a Kirlian photography, or if I do a IR thermography, I would find another layer which is subtle, which I am not able to see with naked eye. So then there is a Sukshma Sharira. You exist at subtle level. Then there is also Karana Sharir. Karana Sharir means that I am here today at this point of time to interact with some 40 people today who have shown interest and who is undergoing this 5 days program. So there is a purposeful existence. So this is the three levels. And yoga, if one has to be healthy, there has to be a union between all these three layers. That is Stula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karana Sharir. And then health is just not absence of disease. It is you have to be at the best of your ability. That is yoga. So how do we give that? How do you give that ability to you to be the best of yourself, which is health? And what is the scientific perspective? If yoga is helpful to ensure good health for everyone, how does it work? This is what I'm going to deliberate with you in the next 30 minutes. So congratulations, Dr. Swati, Dr. Venambar, and also Vichitra has been part of us, and also Neha, who is helping us under the guidance of Dr. B.C. Das. So this founder president is a great proponent of Indian systems of medicine, be it Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, and yoga. And he also practices yoga. Many of you may not know, and he practices particularly pranayam, Ujjayi pranayam, Anolam Vilom, and also the Bastrika and Kapalpati. So these are the four he practices. And he is the one who initiated, why not we look for establishing a Amity Institute of Indian Systems of Medicine. So there we are. So today, last 3 years, we have started many programs, the value-added course, then we have foundation course, along with Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. Then we also started BSc Honors in Yoga, MSc in Yoga, and now we are going to start PhD in Yoga. So slowly this institute is being expanded, grown under these four people whom I see in the screen along with Dr. Neha and under the guidance of Dr. B.C. Das. So this institute is doing well, but we have a lot of plans. We have to do a lot more to make this Indian systems of medicine grow. So we are looking for people who can just join hands in this mission. Now the COVID-19 has brought in unprecedented challenges in our lifetime. At least in my life, 72 years, I have not seen such a situation, even though we heard about SARS, MERS, but this one, this COVID-19, is really brought in unprecedented challenges in our life. So it almost brought us to standstill. During the first lockdown, everything came to almost zero, standstill. And so then everybody started working from home, and everybody got into sensory deprivation, isolation, monotony, separation from family, fear of the unknown, whether I'll get the disease or not, working from home. These are all new experiences. So we were put into a lot of physical, mental, physiological stress by this COVID-19. And it led to a lot of mental health problem challenges as well, like depression, anxiety, sleeplessness, insomnia, a lot of challenges. So fear of contracting the disease, whether when you see the death of your neighbor in your society or in your close to your flat or house, and do you think, will I have the same end? So like that, you start fearing about contracting the disease. And also, working from home is not very easy, because you will have to look at the home front as well and then work front as well. How do you balance it? And if you have children, you have to look after the children, look after the husband. If ladies are there, they have to work two types of roles. One is as a homemaker, the other side is the employee in an organization. So all this brought in unprecedented challenges. And for children, school going children, sitting in front of a laptop like this or from a device for 2 hours, 3 hours continuously is a big challenge. Children used to just play around, walk around, talk to people, but they have to be quietly looking at the screen and then interacting. So all these were challenges. So how did yoga help? There are many instances in which I have heard, and also there are documentary evidences which Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush have collected. Those people who practiced yoga, and either they were protected or even if they contracted the disease, it went very mild. It helped them to save from hospitalization or even death. So this is a documented data which the Ministry of Ayush has collected, how the Ayush system, including yoga, have helped. So you expanded work area, because today there in the work, your department, your workplace, but today you have to work from everywhere. So expanded work through your digital platform. So all this I already mentioned. Now, with all this, yoga now today has become a global system where not only in India, but across the globe, it has become very popular. And when you go to West, when you go to East, everywhere now yoga is being practiced by many, many countries. And this is thanks to Honorable Prime Minister and the United Nations accepting the Indian proposal to celebrate 21st June as the International Day of Yoga. And here we are. And we must propagate this in a big way across the globe. So now coming to the topic, yoga for the health, that is the topic, and looking at scientific perspectives. And most of you would have already heard in the last 5 years, so I'm not going to do that, repeat the same thing. But yoga, when you say, it includes many things, like meditation is part of yoga, dhyan, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Dhyana is meditation. Then mantra has always been there, whether Om recital or Gayatri mantra recital, everything precedes. So mantra has been part of yoga. And then Ayurveda. Earlier, it is believed that Ayurveda and yoga were together as Ayur Yoga. Then Ayurveda separated and yoga separated as two different disciplines, bifurcating from Ayur Yoga. But then the main aim is giving the good health to the life. It's a life, and the health science is Ayurveda, Ayur Yoga. So this yoga, now I will focus on yoga, started 5,000 years ago. And there are, this I have already mentioned, yama niyama. See, in yoga, as I said, it is just not only asanas, pranayam, meditation. There are many disciplines. What is the type of diet you should eat and how you should eat, being conscious of that eating process. And then what is the discipline you have to obtain, you have to maintain in your lifestyle. Yamas, niyamas, what you should not do, what you should do. Then the asanas, just the postural exercises which will discipline your physical part of it. musculoskeletal, neuromuscular, everything is activated by asanas. Pranayam, control and regulation of energy flow, is pranayam. It's just not only breathing. Breathing is one part of the energy flow. So pranayam is the control and regulation of energy flow. And pratyahar, control over your sense. Panchabhutas, how do you bring a control over this? Dharna and dhyana is meditation, samadhi, ultimate salvation. So it has got Ashtanga yoga, has got 8 different limbs. And the yogic practice, as I said, the starting point is the good health, the physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, which is health. So this is the first benefit one accrue, one gets because of yogic lifestyle, yogic practice, is that good health. Because that is necessary for further achievement. If you have to achieve many things in life, first you should have a good health. Then only you can achieve education, you can be productive in your occupation, and then successful and happy in your life. So that's the first part. Then comes spiritual evolution. The next level, if you continue to do yoga, besides the health, it awakens your kundalini. It gives a spiritual awakening, and then the spiritual evolution. You elevate yourself spiritually. That is the next benefit. Third is you achieve higher level of consciousness. You from the human consciousness, you become the higher level of consciousness you achieve. Ultimately, the salvation, the moksha. So that is the various benefits you can achieve. The first is good health. Now there are various sects of yoga, like karma yoga, action, skill in action. Whatever you do, you don't expect the fruits of it, but excel in the action itself. So that is yoga. Skill in action is yoga, karma yoga. Bhakti yoga, you surrender yourself and sing the glory of God, surrender to the Almighty, Bhakti yoga. Jnana yoga is understanding the spiritual knowledge, seeking the spiritual knowledge. Thereby you achieve the moksha ultimate aim. Hatha yoga, the physical part of it, emphasis more on physical. Then tantric yoga, kundalini yoga, raja yoga. Raja yoga is supposed to be the highest, where you directly connect with the higher supreme energy level or the supreme being. So it is believed, Dr. Jardin says, we are not human beings who have come to this world to have spiritual experience. We are actually spiritual beings who have come to this world to have human experience. Just think like this. We are not this body. We are not this mind. We are actually Atma. We are actual Atma, which is now in this body playing this role today. And so that is how, if you imagine, then you need to nourish yourself at 3 levels. One is the physical level, where the soul resides. Then mental level, where buddhi, man, buddhi, sanskar. These 3 are components of Atma. So this buddhi, then comes the sanskars. Ultimately the soul carries that only when it goes to the next janma. So the Raja Yoga helps to connect with that. So imagine that you are spiritual being who has come to the world for human experience. Then you need to nourish the spiritual level of existence. So yogic practice actually helps you to realize this. Nourish your physical level, keeping the good health, and mental level, having good thoughts, acquiring the jnana, and then ultimately spiritual existence is also nourished. So that is yoga. Now you need to understand 2 philosophies if you have to, or 2 concepts if you have to understand the yogic philosophy. The first is you exist at 3 levels: Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, Karana Sharir, that I have already mentioned. Then even the Sthula Sharir exists at 5 levels: Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, Anandamaya Kosh. These are the 5 different layers. So yoga, to maintain the good health, it brings the harmony between all these layers of physical existence, Sthula Sharir, and also between Sthula Sharir and Sukshma Sharir and Karana Sharir. So that is how yoga brings all the benefit which I mentioned. Now I am going to focus on three important aspects where we have scientific evidence. So now it is evidence-based, the presentation in which experiments have been carried out based on which I am claiming, and we are claiming, scientists, practitioners, and therapists of yoga claims yoga is prophylactic. That means it can prevent disease. Yoga is promotive. It brings the best in you, all the potentials, the Kundalini Shakti, the latent, dormant talents, all the surface. So it's promotive. And yoga is curative. You can use this for treating disease, particularly psychosomatic, stress related, and other disease, and chronic ailments where you can find curative, either as adjunct or complementary, or in some of these you can actually treat the disease through the system. So I am going to now focus on three aspects of yoga: prophylactic, promotive, and curative aspects. Let us look at prophylactic aspects. A country like ours, with 1.37 billion people, how many hospitals we can build, how many doctors we can produce, how many nurses we can produce, how many tertiary facilities we can produce, even with the participation of private sector. So you need to focus on prevention of the disease rather than looking at treatment and curative aspects in the health system. So that is where yoga comes in a big way. Yoga can prevent disease. Why should I go to hospital? Why should I take chronic medicines for diabetes, hypertension, peptic ulcer, bronchitis, asthma? I should avoid this. This is what yoga does. Let me claim that, I am now 72. 72 times I have gone around the Earth orbit. So my age is 72. In this 72 years, I have not been hospitalized, not even once. This, you can see all my record in DRDO. my, so just I'm claiming that, it gives me good health because of yoga. I will say main reason for my good health is yoga. Even during COVID-19, even though I contracted COVID-19, I came out. Many people suffered, hospitalized, but I was not hospitalized. I could manage at home with pranayam. So yoga can help you in good health. So this is my own experiential learning. And then I will tell about promotive aspects. You name any disease, you can attribute the five causative factors, etiological factors. You name any disease, whether communicable, non-communicable disease, you can attribute to any one of them. First is lack of exercise. Our body, if you see our ancestors, they were living in jungles, mountains, caves, facing the vagaries of the climate, running from the predatory animals, hunting for the food. This is how the body was evolved. But with our modern living, we undergo, our body undergoes disuse atrophy. Supposing I put a bandage today, there's a fracture, so I put a bandage. After 2 months, I remove the bandage. This hand will be very weak, very weak. So you do physiotherapy to regain. Why? I didn't use this hand. My hand was restricted, and I didn't use this, so it underwent disuse atrophy. Same thing happens to our body. The body, which was meant to be tough physically, as in our evolution, now it undergoes disuse atrophy because of lack of exercise. The modern living, one of the major risk factors to health is lack of exercise. The second factor is dichotomy between body and mind. Today, all of us had lunch. How many of you really focus? If I ask you, what did you have for lunch? What did I have lunch? What did I have lunch? So you may not know even what you ate because you would have been seeing your mobile phone. Your food is, your mind is in mobile phone operation. Your food is going physically. Your hand is pushing the food inside. So there is a dichotomy between what the mind does, what the body does. So the lunch has gone in, so your acid is secreted. In the stomach, hydrochloric acid is secreted. But when you see your chapati, when you see your sabji, flavor, immediately saliva will be secreted. Even before you ate, before you ate the food, the saliva would have been secreted. And that saliva will go and then neutralize the acid released, which is highly acidic, hydrochloric acid in the stomach. So You need to send adequate quantity of saliva. Suppose you see a phone, oh, my relative got COVID, and then throw, what kind of saliva will secrete? So this is what happens. This is what is the dichotomy between body and mind. That can cause many disease, acidity, peptic ulcer, irritable bowel syndrome, dyspepsia, constipation. All this will happen just by this one simple example of dichotomy between mind and body, which can cause disease. So this is the second factor for disease. Third is stress. So in all our way of life, I see my grandchildren studying for school exam, my granddaughter. So children are in stress now. And then when I see the executives in the office, when you see the way they have to meet the demand, in the office, deadlines are there, and they have to do it within this whole day and night. They work with time pressure. They work stress for executives. A soldier sitting there in Siachen, facing the vagaries of hypoxia, the high altitude conditions, cold, sensory deprivation, separation from family, fear of the unknown, whether the bullet will come tomorrow to hit me. All this is impinging. So a soldier is under stress. So like this, everyone, all of us, academicians, scientists, everyone is in different kinds of stress. So stress is the third factor, which is a risk factor for health. Then the fourth is pollution. We are, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, food contamination. Everything can cause disease, including cancer, can result from this pollution. So pollution is the fourth factor. Fifth factor is infection. Today, COVID-19 is infection. And like this, there are many communicable diseases, virus, bacteria, fungus, toxins. These are all can cause disease. So infection is the fifth factor. So yoga is prophylactic, preventive against all the five factors. How? First factor is lack of exercise. Yoga is total exercise, physical, physiological, psychological exercise for the whole system is exercise. And it removes toxins. Your pranayam, it clears off all your oxygen debt which your system might have undergone. And it removes lactic acid, pyruvic acid, toxins, everything is removed. So it is physiological exercise. So not only physical exercise, physiological, psychological exercise, because your mind is involved. So concentration, simple concentration, psychological aspects. So it is total exercise, holistic exercise, taking care of the first factor. Second factor is dichotomy between mind and body. In yoga, if you say that just you have to do a Paschimottanasana, you raise and then touch your toes. When you do this, your mind is fully involved and conscious of that movement. Nothing else. I'm not thinking about, oh, it is 320, 340. So like that, I'm not thinking. So my mind is involved, totally involved, union with that physical movement. Mind is involved in that process. Then only it is yoga. If you just move your hand and it is acrobatic, some movement. But your movement is, you are conscious, completely conscious of the movement. Then it is yoga. So that is what is emphasized. If you are breathing, then you are instructed to feel the air going inside. Not just you think something else and then push the air inside, outside. You have to be conscious of the air going inside, filling the lungs, energy flowing out. You should visualize. Then it is yoga. So this is what is the harmony between mind and body. It removes the disharmony between mind and body. So if I just drink water, I feel the water in my tongue, in my esophagus, in my ultimately reaching out to the alimentary system. That is yoga. So yoga is just not only that physical exercise or asana you did. Yoga has to be a way of life. So it brings harmony between mind and body, taking care of the second factor. Third factor is stress. Stress management is very simple. The sloka is only three slokas. One is normalize your perception, optimize your reaction, release the stress as quickly as possible. That is all stress management. Normalize your perception. That means everything we expect something to happen, it doesn't happen the way we want. We are stressed. So expectation is one. Then the other one is we think that we can do achieve anything and we want rewards every time. So everything when you do, then it becomes so karma yoga. Always say, focus on your action. Do it with your 100% potential involvement. And so then leave the fruits to the other factors. There are many extraneous factors besides the action which you have done. Your own sanskars which you have brought, your own karmic account you have brought, which you have achieved over, accumulated over the janmas, which you have come. That will also influence your results. What action you have done, the results will be determined by that. So there are many extraneous factors. So do your action perfectly, then the result is only a consequence. If you do good karmas, good actions, good results will follow you. You don't have to chase that. You don't have to worry about it. If not today, tomorrow, day after, it will happen. So yogic practice gives that attitude of normalizing your perception. You accept people as they are. You accept situations as they are. You accept whatever happens to you as it happens, and you want the responsibility to yourself. So this philosophy comes. So it normalizes your perception, which is the starting point for your reaction. Anything, stress response, if you don't perceive it as a stress, no more stress. If you so perception is the first part. So yoga normalizes your perception. So you don't feel stress. The other parts, reaction, release, all that comes subsequently. The second part in which yoga can influence is to optimize your reaction. It doesn't allow an exaggerated arousal. Say, like for example, you don't shoot up your sympathetic response or sympathoadrenal response. It optimizes your reaction. So yogic practice optimizes your reaction to stress. Instead of your heart rate shooting from 70 to about 150, it just keeps from 70 to 90. So this is what is yoga does. It optimizes your reaction to stress, both physical, behavioral, psychological reaction to stress. Third way of stress management is release the stress as quickly as possible. This is how the yoga works. Yoga, because of the parasympathetic tone, the vagal tone it builds over the period of time, that it has got very strong parasympathetic tone. So it doesn't allow the exaggerated arousal, and it also quickly restores the equilibrium back to normal. This is how yoga manages stress. So yogic practice helps in stress management. Fourth is pollution. God has given you a lot of inherent detoxification physiological processes, mechanisms, organs which will take care of pollutants like liver, kidney, spleen, reticuloendothelial system, cilia. All this can handle pollutants to a certain extent. So yogic practice strengthens your inherent detoxification mechanisms. The fifth is infection. So you cannot be living in BSL-4 facility, biosafety level. I'll go and sit inside so that no virus, no bacteria, no fungus will be there. You cannot be living. You have to live in the normal environment. So yoga strengthens, gives a kavach to you. It strengthens your immunity. Again, your physiology has got cell-mediated immunity, humoral immunity. Both are strengthened. These are the soldiers and the ammunitions which can take care of the invading pathogens, be it fungus, bacteria, or virus. So this is how yoga strengthens your immunity, thereby giving you a kavach, including that for COVID-19. So this is what how the five factors which cause disease, both communicable and non-communicable, is taken care of by yogic practice. So yoga is prophylactic and yoga is promotive. I have already mentioned this. I am not going to deal with this once again, but yoga is promotive. The second aspect, yoga is promotive. What is promotion? We want physical health. So our movement, I have to climb stairs, I have to walk fast, I have to carry out my physical activity. So you need the efficiency, physical efficiency at some maximal level. Because we are not going to run a marathon, we are not going to compete with for an athletics, except those who will be doing that. For them also yoga is good. But for common people like us, we have to maintain the physical efficiency at some maximal level. That is one. Second is our body has to be flexible, subtle. No, I should not be looking to turn around. I should not be looking the whole body. I should be supple. So the body flexibility is important. Performance at submaximal level is important. Then tolerance to stress is important. And also tolerance to environmental stress. During summer, I should not be feeling uneasy. I should not be feeling too cold when it is winter. So these are all physical level. So promotive yogic practice increases your body flexibility, performance at submaximal level of your work, and also tolerance to environmental stress, and also the cognitive ability, concentration, memory, learning efficiency, eye-hand coordination, decision making. All these are improved. So yoga is promotive. It brings your talents, the dormant potentials in you to surface and excel in whatever. Say you are going to give a lecture, it helps you to make it perform best to your satisfaction. So this is performance. This is promotive aspect of yoga. Now it is also helpful in curative aspects, that is treatment of disease as a lifestyle intervention, as an adjunct or complementary therapy, and also it can respond. It can treat stress-related disease, psychosomatic ailments. I'll give you some examples of my own experiments which we have done in DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, and in Amity University. So there are many, if you look at the literature, there are many disease conditions in which yoga can be therapy for successful, for arthritis, allergy, asthma, hypertension, diabetes, constipation, tension related headache, skin disorders, some of the skin disorders, chronic fatigue syndrome, obesity, sleep problem, menopause. So like this, there are many, many conditions, low back pain, the cervical problem, all this, there are a lot of ample literature available today with scientific evidence, Now, I will pick up some of those aspects. So this I have already told, so I won't do it again. So performance improvement, I told you, like, what we did, the experiment we did to show that you have to have a spring balance, like bull worker. You just take and then load your arm, how much time you can hold a fixed level of tension in both biceps, triceps, and the forearm muscles. So we measure the time, and then you can determine easily that your muscle holding strength, stretching exercise, isometric nature of exercise, how long you can hold, it improves, time improves. Similarly, we have done the antioxidant measurements. I'll just straight away go to my experiments. And meditation is a part of yoga, and there are many literature available, transcendental meditation, and also vipassana meditation, yogic meditation, and even in meditation, so many things are there. And Om is the mantra which is recited, and which is not having only spiritual connotations, but it has also got tremendous beneficial effects, which is uh, evaluated by Dr. Joel Stein. He says scientists study it, doctors recommend it, millions of Americans, many of whom don't even have uh, bone crystals, but practice it every day. Why? Because meditation works. Meditation works. So this is an American scientist, Joel Stein, has mentioned, and it is published. He has published papers in this. Now let me come to my experiments, which I have done. See, we took three groups of soldiers. One group doing the physical training of army, which is the control group. Then second group doing yoga as a substitute for physical training. Third group is physical training and yoga. That means morning yoga and evening physical exercise, games, sports, and others. So it's a combination. There are three groups. And we had about 50 soldiers in each group monitored. Then we had also the different age group. So another study. So we have done in young age group, middle age group, older age group, and then ultimately shown the prophylactic, promotive, and curative potentials. These are some of the asanas. Then these are the experiments which we have done, like, for example, the whole neurophysiological functions, like EEG, compressed spectral array, evoke potentials, and also the respiratory functions, including diffusion, and the treadmill exercise to have submaximal and maximal level of exercise performance, and also the chamber studies in which how does the soldier tolerate thermal stress, heat stress, as well as cold stress. So we have, this is only a glimpse of the laboratory, but we have done many, many more biochemical, psychological parameters have also been monitored. Then they started yoga, and then during 6 months, every month we monitor them. How are these three groups are progressing? So I'll show the two groups which I have shown here. The control group, which is here, where the heart rate during the 6 month period remains almost the same. But whereas heart rate in the yoga group, you see here, it reduces during the 6 months from it's a basal heart rate, and from let's say 68, it has come to 60. So which shows 1 minute, this heart of this particular experimental group, yoga practitioner, rests eight times. It beats only 60 times, whereas the physical training group performs 68 times. It pumps. So the wear and tear in the system in the yoga group will be less. That is why your aging will be delayed. Physiological as well as the physical aging will also be delayed because you are conserving energy. So this is what is the message from this. It builds the parasympathetic tone, which I mentioned, sympathetic, parasympathetic. So it builds the cooling system of the body, the parasympathetic body. That is how all the functions, physiological functions, come to the lower side of the normal range, giving the conservation of energy as well as giving a greater buffer for reaction during stress. And similarly, we're breathing, which is the next slide on the right hand side, where this is the control group, and this is the experimental group where the rate becomes slower, but the depth, that is tidal volume, becomes more. So the minute ventilation is improved, not by the rate increase, but by increasing the depth of ventilation. So respiration becomes rhythmic, deep, and thereby economical in terms of energy utilization. This is what the second slide shows. Now, the next slide, I have focused on the sympathetic parasympathetic, which will indicate the heart rate variability spectrum. So you will see the high frequency before lifestyle intervention, including yoga, was like this. You see the shift in the band here, which has gone to right side. That means higher frequency, and you will see the power increasing in the higher frequency, indicating buildup of parasympathetic tone during 6 months of the practice of yoga. Similarly, we measured the alpha index of EEG. Alpha index of EEG will indicate the mental tranquility, which I'll show you in the next slide, a representative slide, in which this is the EEG pattern before a person started yoga. After 6 months, you see the alpha waves was like this at that time, 6 months before. After 6 months, see the alpha index preponderance of alpha waves. Similarly, beta waves were more when before they started this yogic induction of yoga training. Now, after 6 months, you see beta waves are reduced, alpha increased, beta reduced, theta waves also increased. So this is what is the indications that yoga brings mental tranquility. Then we also did functional MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, which will indicate the metabolic functions of the brain. In the people who practice Raja Yoga meditation for more than 10 years, they have been doing regularly Raja Yoga meditation. They are actually the dadis of Brahma Kumaris, where we found something unique, both at the occipital level and at the prefrontal level. This is prefrontal and occipital level. There was activation. That means even with eyes open, they are able to achieve that higher level of consciousness. And also, the prefrontal activation indicates their decision making process, and the higher nervous function activities is much higher in these meditative practitioners as compared to the non-meditative practitioners. So, are the control group. So, this is again decision making. How do we make decision? We collect information, data, knowledge, synthesize our knowledge, And that is influenced by likes, dislikes, prejudices, noise. All this is going to influence your decision making. But if your decision making has to be perfect, you should go to the subconscious level where the actual decision lies there. You need to only see that. So how does it yoga helps yogic practice? It subdues all your noise. So signal comes up. Signal to noise ratio is improved. So how does it happen? There is in the brainstem, there is ascending reticular activating system, which will act like a filter. It will just close. The filter will close for all noise. So the signal will automatically emerge. You don't have to look for decision. Decision just emerges because you subdue all your noises, which normally brings disturbance in decision making and sometimes leading to wrong decision making. This is how yoga helps in executives and others. Everyone takes decision at their own level. So it helps you to make the right decision. Then body flexibility. We actually measured at neck rotation, shoulder flexion extension, trunk flexion extension, hip, all levels we using goniometer. We actually measured the angle of flexion extension quantitatively. And we found that yogic practice, even in the middle-aged people above 45 years when they started, body flexibility improves. Thereby you live agile, good health, and also your body looks supple. Now, coming to the exercise, physical performance, we measure the lactic acid buildup during when they put it on treadmill and they do submaximal level of exercise or maximal exercise. You will find in control group, which is in the pink color, you see this, before yogic, no, they were not given yoga practice. This is initial and after 6 months. But here you see the red one is the initial, but in yoga practitioners, after 6 months of yoga training, there is a rightward shift of the curve of lactic acid buildup during exercise. What does it indicate? Because when you do exercise, the oxygen demand is not being met, energy demand is not being met with oxygen, aerobic level. It undergoes anaerobic metabolism, where you have buildup of lactic acid, pyruvic acid, all this will happen. So this rate of lactic acid, which I show in the blue color, during exercise is slower as compared to their initial, indicating that your onset of fatigue will be much later. The whole day you keep working, but you still at aerobic level. So your fatigue, you don't get fatigue, physical, mental fatigue will not occur. So thereby your success, improvement happens in your physical performance and mental performance as well. Then your biochemical profile indicated a relative hypometabolic state like blood glucose, cholesterol, lactic dehydrogenase, monoamine oxidase, dopamine beta hydroxylase. All this we measured and we showed a relative hypometabolic state. Then we put them in the cold chamber, the control group, that is physical training group, and yoga group. PT is physical training. So you find the oral temperature, the yoga group was able to maintain a higher core temperature. Even during 10-degree exposure with only shorts on for 2 hours, we put them in the cold chamber. But the yoga group was maintaining higher core temperature. How it can happen? Either by heat conservation or producing more heat for the dissipation of heat which is happening because of the gradients. Because outside is 10 degree, your body is 37 degrees, so it's a big gradient. So you'll be losing heat. So one way of protecting the heat loss is by vasoconstriction. So we looked at the skin temperature. Skin temperature fall is the same in both control and experimental group. So it was not by heat conservation, but by heat production. And there are two methods of producing heat. One is by shivering, the other by non-shivering. So we looked at the electromyogram. We put EMG electrodes at the back of the muscles, which will shiver. When you shiver, these electromyographic activity will go up. So what we found, yoga group showed less shivering and they were able to produce higher energy by not by shivering, but by non-shivering metabolic thermogenesis. This is what yogis, when you go to mountains, they just put a linen and then walk. We put 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, we still keep shivering. So yoga practitioners can produce heat not by shivering, but by non-shivering thermogenesis. This is what we found in our studies as well. Then we looked at the psychological functions like anxiety, depression. You see, initial 3 months, 6 months, the anxiety comes down, depression scores comes down, concentration level increases, vigilance, alertness of mind increases. So, like this, psychophysiological functions also show improvement in the yoga practitioners. And in the glucose tolerance test, which will indicate protective effect against diabetogenic tendencies, this graph shows this is initial in yoga group. After 6 months of practice, the basal level itself comes down. And when you give a glucose load, the rise is minimized and quickly it comes back to, it handles the glucose very fast. So it protects against diabetic tendencies. Then the next thing we did hypertension. Everybody claims yoga is good for hypertension, it cures hypertension, but how? Many people didn't answer. So what we did, I took 40 of essential hypertensive patients, randomly divided them into two groups. One is a control group, which was put on a tilt table, a table which can be tilted 70-degree head up or 35-degree head down. So all that patient has to do is to lie down on the table, and the table is tilted 35-degree head down or 70-degree head up. Then in the yoga group, I selected asanas which will involve a postural tilt. Like for example, Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, Surya Namaskar. All this involves head up tilt. When you do Ardhahalasana, Viparita Karni, and also Sarvangasana, this is head down tilt. So I selected asanas which will have postural tilt, then compared both the group. So we found that the baroreflex, which is regulated by baroreceptors on the blood vessels supplying the brain, carotid arteries, that becomes sluggish in hypertensive patients. So when you do head down, head up tilt, head down, whole blood comes in the head and neck region. So it stretches the receptor. Then when you do head up tilt, the stretch is removed. So alternately stretching the receptors, removing the stretch, you are reactivating the sluggish baroreflex, which in turn corrects your catecholamines, renin-angiotensin system. So all this get corrected. Ultimately, the patient improves. So we showed the physiological mechanism underlying the beneficial effect of yoga in treatment of hypertension. Then last part is we did an experiment on coronary artery disease. This was done along with the Mount Abu Global Hospital Research Center with Brahmakumari Samaj, Brahmakumari Academy. Dr. Satish Gupta was the person prime mover from their side, and the DRDO, DIPAS, DIPR laboratories. We worked together, and ultimately what we found that a holistic lifestyle, which include low-fat, high-fiber diet, aerobic exercise of regular walking for half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, or 45 minutes. Then stress management through Raja Yoga. When we gave it to the patients, that they were able to show regression of coronary artery disease. Not just progression is being arrested, regression, actual plaques getting removed, collaterals being formed so that the ejection factor improves. So we demonstrated using this 524 patients randomly divided into two groups, a conventional medical management control group, and in the experimental group, the conventional medical management and the lifestyle intervention, which included Raja Yoga meditation, aerobic exercise, and vegetarian diet. And we were able to demonstrate that the plaques get removed. So I won't go into the details of all the parameters, and a huge voluminous data were collected. Like you are showing the plasma catecholamines and also melatonin rhythmicity. And now I'll show some coronary angiograms. So this is the control group in which plague was initially 52.58, but after 2 years it became 72. So the disease was actually progressing. But whereas in the yoga group, where lifestyle was given, initial block was 78.85%. And it became, after 2 years of yoga, lifestyle intervention, 47%. So very significant improvement. And these people did not go for a bypass or angioplasty, which was required. So they were able to control and also improve and cause regression. So like this, there are many people who have, we have many data, 89 became 41 after 2 years of lifestyle intervention, including yoga. And this is the hypothesis we set in. Now, finally, I will just skip these, and your whole quality of life improves. That happiness quotient goes up, hope quotient goes up significantly, very significantly in the patients as well as the normal people. Now, the message is, let us all propagate yoga across the society. School level, it should be made a regular curriculum. Even the National Education Policy 2020 is focusing on this holistic development, not just only mental development. We don't want to develop intellectual giants and spiritual pygmies. So we want a balanced development of our children. So that is where yoga has to become a part of our education, not only at colleges and universities, but at the school level itself. Similarly, it has to be in hospitals. We must have a wing, whether it's a cancer hospital or it is a general hospital, or it is dealing with the coronary artery disease, cardiac, neuro, any discipline. So you must propagate it to the patient as well as for the caregivers, the families who accompany the patients, and the doctors, paramedics. Everyone should practice yoga. So this we should bring it to hospitals. We must bring it to the executives at the corporate headquarters. You will bring a different organizational behavior and climate in that the corporates. So you will see the productivity going up, profitability going up. All this will happen if you bring yoga to the corporate. Now, we in Indian systems of medicine, Swati Madan and Vinambra Sharma, we have now started this yoga. We have yoga education, therapy, research. We have started, and we have a Long Islands of New York, 175 acres. Founder President Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan and the Chancellor Dr. Asim Chauhan have acquired this, and now we have established Amity Center, Amity Ayurveda Research Center there. So we are going to start along with National Institute of Ayurveda for a 30-hour program on Ayurvedic biology orientation. So this is a new program we are starting there. We have a herbal garden which is being inaugurated by Honorable Minister of Ayush, Sri Shripad Naik ji, and we see our founder president over there, and also his brother-in-law who looks after the whole campus of herbal garden. And thanks to Swati and also Rajput, who brought the minister for this particular function of inauguration. Then we have also started, as I mentioned, BSc Honors in Yoga, MSc Yoga. Now we are also starting the PG Diploma in Yoga Therapy, the foundation program. So like this, we have many activities, including International Day of Yoga, which is being celebrated now. Now the final message is promote, popularize yoga globally. Let us create a movement. Let us create a wave. Let us first practice it ourselves, and then let us propagate it. First, you practice it yourself, all of you who are attending this. If you are not practicing, please start and make it regular. It should be regular, not that I'll do 2 days and 5 days I won't do, or 4 days I won't. You should be regular. I have been doing it, whether I'm here abroad, unless I'm traveling in the aircraft, I do even pranayam there. So you should make it as a regular part. You should get addicted to this. So let us first practice it and then propagate, promote it across the globe. Let us create a wave and movement of yoga. That will bring a new world, new India, where you will see global harmony, peace, happiness, prosperity for everyone. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. So that kind of concept, Vasudeva Kudumbakam, that concept will come. Let us imagine a world of that type. Let us create. Yoga can help in creating that new world. So with this, I will end with Honorable Founder President, who is a great proponent of Indian systems of medicine, including yoga. He practices pranayam. I want to tell all the viewers, our own Founder President Dr. Chauhan practices Indian systems. He promotes Ayurveda. He promotes homeopathy. He himself takes only homeopathy at times, I have seen. So he is a proponent who has established 11 universities in India and 17 campuses abroad and also 28 schools. And this is a research and innovation driven university. But in all this, we are propagating yoga, including in our schools, Amity International Schools. Yoga is being propagated, and International Day of Yoga is also being celebrated there in our New York campus. It was done last year, and this year is also being done. So this is how founder President Dr. Chauhan believes that we must transform India as a knowledge superpower and a general superpower for which yoga can play a very important role. Yoga is promotive, yoga is preventive against disease, yoga is curative. So it gives good health and happiness for everyone. So with this, once again, compliment Dr. Swati and Vinamra Sharma and Dr. Vichitra and also Dr. Neha and all others. And also thanks to Dr. Das, who has been with this institution, Amity Institute of Indian Systems of Medicine. And we would request all the participants, so let us take a resolution and let us first practice it ourselves and let us propagate, promote it across the globe. Thank you very much. Dr. Swati, over to you.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir, for putting thorough light on yoga and enlightening us with your great expertise and rich experience. So we are really blessed to have you here to address the participants with your visionary perspectives. And we are really thankful for presenting a wonderful presentation describing yoga and pranayam and all other in all aspects in very detailed manner. So I really thankful to you, and I'm also thankful to Dr. B.C. Das sir. He is with us, among with us. So over to you, Dr. Das sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Swati, and I'm highly grateful to Dr. Selvamurthy. So we have been working together, but I have not listened to his lecture on this the yoga. But he has said many a times that his work we know partly, but then I listened to from the beginning to end. So there is a huge amount of data to support how the yoga and the other aspects of the yoga and the spiritual aspects and how it influences. And it is really um the title of the talk justified that scientific perspective. So this yoga and its scientific perspective, he has shown from the point of view of all the scientific aspects or the health aspects, particularly the heart and other aspects, the lung function, heart function, mental function. So many of the molecules that he has, biochemical molecules, which are the most important molecules or the hormones and many other biochemical endpoints, which are generally considered for the whether there is an improvement in the health status from either uh, it's, either of the heart or any other organs, and then the anxiety and the feelings, the happiness and all. So these are, I think it's a huge study to, and sometimes it should be presented or rather to the whole community of the Amity. So they come to know that yes, there are a lot of science behind it, which none other than Dr. Selvamurthy has worked on that. So while he was in DRDO and all, and he himself is a great practitioner of the yoga and all. So that's the great feeling, and I'm really highly again thankful, and it's great to the all the participants, those who have listened to his talk. I think that's a great exposure and the knowledge that they will know that it's not just an exercise or something. See, other day the Sadhguru was telling the yoga is not an exercise. So maybe he is right. He is telling more than he means it is exercise, but it is more than exercise. So what I said is that also in the morning that it's a science. Yoga is science. So we know many things, but we have to go a long way to prove and to show the world and to our countrymen as well as from the outsiders to the world over that it has a science and it can improve the health to a great extent. So everybody should practice this, not as just sometimes, some days, but as a regular practice. May not be doing all aspects of the yoga and other, but then whatever they like and whatever they feel that it is good for their health, they can choose some of these and do for 15-20 minutes or whatever time. It's like walking. One has the practice of walking that has a huge health effects or health benefits. So something like that, one has to make it a regular practice, regular. Otherwise, it is just sometime doing doesn't make any sense. So, with this few words, I once again thank you, Dr. Salvamurthy, for your excellent lecture, eloquently explained. And I thank Dr. Vinamra and Dr. Swati for this arrangement of this workshop, and which I think after half an hour or so we'll have the concluding session, or it will be continued.
Yeah, so we are going to conclude, sir. Continuing.
Continuation.
That's good that we can continue. So that would be good to not to break it and again to start. That is not good. So thank you very much. So
Thank you, Dr.
I think
Das.
you had. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Actually, we should do many more things like I have been requesting. We should look at molecular level, what happens
Yeah.
at epigenetic level, molecular level, functional genomics, proteomics, which are the ones expressed. We have done it at physiological, biochemical level.
Yes.
Now we should go into molecular level and epigenetic level. And I'm sure Dr. Das and
Yes,
Vinay
that we have,
will-
it already we have proposed, and
yes.
something very small way we have put in our new course of studies, yoga course, because the BSc and MSc, these courses are little bit different than others because we have added the new facet of what you just now mentioned, the the modern biology, rather the molecular biology, genomics, proteomics, and the immunology and genetics, so that people get exposed to it and understand the things. And I think slowly it will improve a lot. And this MSc, BSc from AIIM, the Amity Institute of the Indian System of Medicine, this batch will come out with a new insight, some new knowledge. Slowly we will improve, increase it, and I hope there will be new generation of the yoga personnel will come out, either graduate or undergraduate or postgraduate students and PhDs also. Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Swati
Yes, sir.
and Vinamar Sharma, what is the next program? Vinamar.
Thank you,
So
sir. This is the
uh,
validity function, sir. Ma'am, Dr. Swati Madan, ma'am will report about the session.
yeah,
Ma'am, over to you.
just I'm sharing. Yes, sir.
So please describe what all has happened in the last 5 weeks.
Sir, can you share this PPT?
Vinamar?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm sharing.
Yes, sir, I'm sharing.
One of you share. And let us,
Can you see, sir?
just now it's sharing, just now sharing.
Okay.
Yes. Now
Yes.
put it on full screen.
Yeah.
So,
So is it coming?
no, Vinamar is sharing this. I think there is some conflict.
Ma'am,
Vinamar, you have shared this slide, na?
yes, sir. Ma'am,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you can just, Vinamar, you make it to full screen.
okay, sir.
That's it.
I think I see it full screen.
Yeah, I have to because I have already. I have
Okay,
to
I'm
stop.
just stopping from my side, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, I
Yes.
can't.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please. Thank you.
Just, yeah, it's. So are you able to see?
Yes, yes, I am seeing the screen. All right.
Okay, because it's hanged from my side. Just a minute, sir.
Remember, you are unshared. Stop sharing.
Sir, I have unshared, sir.
Okay. So Swati, now you have to share, and then first you minimize your presentation, then share, then open up that.
Swati ma'am is, I think Swati ma'am has network issue.
I think Vinamar, you share now.
Okay, sir.
Dr. Vichitra, in the meantime, would you like to say a few words?
So I went to this place where you sent to me there the DRDO. I met Mr. Sushil. We have planned something for research work, and then because of your blessings, we just entertained me. थोड़ा थोड़ा उन्होंने एक एक छोटी छोटी चीज बताया जो मेरे को बहुत भाई और I want to do something with you and with DRDO. So I'm planning many things, but now they are not fruitful because of the COVID. I'm stuck over here. I'm writing book on pranayams, clinical therapeutic yoga, but it will take a very long time because deepness is there. Lot of deepness is there.
Good.
I'm practicing every day in the morning. I start at 4.
Yes.
Whatever is done by Dr. Vinamra and Dr. Swati, I've taken 2 sessions in this program.
Right.
We'll have to see what is the response of that sessions.
Yeah.
There's a new one away from the books.
We will
Sorry,
listen to you,
sorry for
Vichitra,
inconvenience.
after we finish this. I
So
want
can
to.
yes, sir. Sorry. Can I continue now?
Yeah, the slides are on already. You only speak, and you
Yes,
say
sir.
next slide. He will change.
Okay. Thank you so much. So first of all, on behalf of Amity Institute of Indian System of Medicines, I congratulate each and every participants for, I'll say a big thank to each and every participants who are in a part of this journey of yoga workshop from 10th June to 15th of June 2021. And the theme, next slide, sir. Theme of the yoga workshop is Yoga and Mindfulness, Innovative Strategies and Practices. Next, please. So starting from the first day, sir, 10th of June, from 10 to 8, 8 to 10 a.m. So the morning session was very beautifully described by Dr. Neha Jaina. She is among with us today, right now, as a panelist also. And she has explained all the participants about various yoga techniques, yoga asanas, pranayams, mudras, and bandhas. Followed by the next slide. Followed by the inaugural ceremony by our respected Dr. B.C. Das, sir, Dean Allied Health Sciences. He inaugurated the workshop and blessed the participants with his word of wisdoms. Next. Then 11 to 12, the inaugural ceremony, the lecture was given by Ms. Seher Gherchalu, and she mainly emphasized on the meditation and informed that meditation is a part of yoga to be taken care of for our soul. Next. Then day 1, 10th June, enlightening session was held at 3 to 5 p.m. with Dr. D.D. Vichitra. He's the president of International Ashtanga Yoga Organization. He demonstrated the yoga in a very practical way, told about various yogic kriyas, and he has described various meditation techniques and pranayam techniques for the prevention and management of COVID disease. So sir is with us also. And day 2 again with the 8 to 10 a.m. the practice session with Dr. Neha Jain. And I want to inform, like during during the last year, she has been continuing this yoga practice session also. And right now in Amity also 8 to 9 a.m. regularly she is delivering a very good lectures, very good practice sessions, yoga practice sessions. Next. Then day 2, 11 June, next lecture, motivational lecture given by renowned yoga teacher, Miss Richi Sharma. She described yoga mastery over the mind, and she emphasized to remain happy, not to take the stress. Next. Followed by the 3 to 5 p.m. again enlightenment session by Dr. Didi Vichitra sir, and explained the asanas in a practical way, then put a light on bandhas and their types and their beneficial effects in health promotion. Then day 3 again 8 to 10, the yogic practice session by Dr. Neha Jain, followed by the 11 to 12 enlightenment session by Dr. Neha Kathuria. She's a homeopathic physician and yoga consultant, and she put a light on Ayurveda and told Ayurveda and yoga, they are interconnected. She described yoga in detail about the karmas, yoga like karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raj yoga, hatha yoga, and she added that yoga is journey for attainment of salvation. She's also with us here. Next. Day 3, 3 to 5 p.m. next enlightenment session by Swami Bodhi Vartmanji, Dr. Manoj Rangar. He's the founder of Osho Multi Services. So he gave a lecture on Neo Yoga. So the art of relaxation. It was very entertaining and interactive session. He put a light on laughing pranayams and describing everything while laughing and creating humor. Next. Day 4, 13th June, 8 to 10, again, the practice yoga session by Dr. Neha Jain, followed by the 11 to 12 motivational lecture by, just next slide. Very motivational lecture by Dr. Ishwar Bhardwaj, Dean Academic Affairs, Dev Sanskriti University, Haridwar. So he has given a lecture on yoga and value addition. During his lecture, he put a light on Manav Mulyas given by our saints, which are very essential in the present scenario. He added that we can make a good engineer, doctor, but he or she must follow the ethical practice too. Next. Followed by the day 4, 3 to 4 enlightenment session by Mr. Sachendra Badoni. He's a yoga trainer from Muraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. And he made the participants practice on various types of meditation, especially the musical meditation. So he clearly informed that while doing musical meditation, sound should be played very lightly to have proper concentration. Next. So followed by 4 to 5, a very eminent personality, Professor G.G. Sharma. He's the former chairman, Department of Yogic Studies, HP University. He conducted the session, gave a lecture on combating COVID-19 through yoga. So it was very enlightenment session. Professor G.D. Sharma, he put a light on issues related to the COVID-19 and told precautions as well as herbal medicines to protect ourselves from this dreadful disease. Day 5, again, the morning session was conducted very well by Dr. Neha Jain, and followed by the 11 to 12 motivational lecture by Dr. Rajput sir, the head of Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Gurukul Kangbi. And he has very well explained pharmacological insights of yoga through his presentation. He put a light on psychosocial drama due to which anxiety, fear, phobia, etc. we can overcome. Next. So day 5, 3 to 4 enlightenment session was given by Mr. Anil Aryaji. He's a yoga trainer at Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga. He conducted the session and put the light on the importance of yoga and pranayam. So he demonstrated various yoga asanas and advised the participants to do pranayam on daily basis. And he's with us from last 2 years in AISM department. And followed by the motivational lecture by Dr. Vinamra Sharma sir. He's the assistant professor in our department, MIT Institute of Indian System of Medicines. And he gave a lecture on IPR entrepreneurship skills in yoga, which is a very important subject in the present scenario. So he informed about the intellectual property rights, which are given to the person of the creations of their mind for a certain period of time. So he explained the meaning, role, need for entrepreneurship in yoga, discover various business ideas that are viable for entrepreneurship, spiritual health, holistic health, disease prevention, and management. Next. So today we are here, and in the morning again, the yogic practice session was conducted by Dr. Neha Jain, and followed by the very motivational lecture on yoga for sustainable healthy lifestyle by Jagat Guru Dilip Ji. He's the founder, president, CEO, World Yoga Community. So he has shared his childhood memories, that how he grew up and what type of difficulties he had to face during his childhood. So it is yoga and Indian system of medicines due to which he recovered of his illness in his early life and has been living a healthy life since then. So he informed that he and he wants to live like a common man. That is why he's running his organization as World Yoga Community, not in his own name. He informed that science has given us so much and made our life so comfortable, but it should not be used for destruction. So he also emphasized yoga and pranayam and told that by practicing yoga, a person can lead a disease-free, healthy lifestyle. Next. And in this session, our respected Dr. W. Silvamurthy, sir, is the President, Amity in Science, Technology, Innovation Foundation, and Dr. B.C. Das, sir, Dean, Health, Life Sciences, remain present and also bless the participant by their word of wisdom. Next. So I'm very thankful. These all are the visiting faculty and administrative staff of AISM. I'm thankful to Dr. Neha Kathuria. She is homeopathic doctor and yoga instructor, and Dr. Bridesh Singh, he's a yoga teacher. Ms. Shikha Sharma, yoga teacher. Ms. Sadhana Dodore, and Dr. Sachendra Bidoni ji, Anil Arya ji, and Dr. Vinamra Sharma sir. I'm very thankful to each and everyone who has supported us and in the growth and development of this department. And also a special thanks to Vivek Jain ji. He's the executive assistant. He has done a wonderful job and has done hard work for the development of this department also. So I'm thankful to each and every person from core of my heart. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
I'm so happy to see the whole organization of the program, starting with Dr. Neha Jainer, starting every day with the practice of yoga, which is very important because otherwise it's only theory, doesn't motivate a person. How easy it is and how easy to practice yoga. I think you have done a good job, Dr. Neha Jainer, and I'm sure that you are on a mission to propagate yoga by training people to get inducted into yoga. Similarly, Dr. Neha Katuria, and you have been a doctor, practicing doctor, and also the trainer. And so these are missions in life. One has to keep a mission. So profession is everybody does, but a mission, people do it. Very few people do with a missionary zeal, the enthusiasm with which you practice that. Similarly, Dr. Vichitra has been associated with Amity for a long years. So you have also 2 days I saw your program also. So all the programs have been meticulously planned under the guidance of Dr. B.C. Das, by Dr. Swati Madan, Dr. Vinambra, and executed by a teamwork with all the, including the executive assistant who is helping. So everyone compliments to each and every one of you. And you are on a mission, not just only doing your practitioner's job as a doctor, as a trainer, but we are all in a mission to transform the humanity. If you think like this, no, then the level of your commitment, involvement, devotion will be much higher. So I want you to, all of you, feel like this. God has sent you to make other people happy, healthy. So you see, God has given you a big mission in life. So let us all implement this. Okay, Swati, next
Yeah,
one.
sir, I want the panelists should say some words. So starting from Dr. D.D. Vichitra, sir, just a few words about this whole workshop, and thank you.
I'm very grateful to you and Dr. Brand sir. और जितना अच्छा आप लोगों ने मेहनत करके बनाया है, very happy. And I want to join you again for research work and all that, to get the guidance from Dr. Vinam sir, Dr. Salam sir, Dr. B.C. Das sir, who has done many things in this yoga. And another nanotherapy is there, according to sir. They are working for this research more deeper. So I want to join that research. And the people who are staying in the Himalayas and all that, I want to conclude the things, how they are available over there with some, what type of pranayams, what type of things they are doing, what they eat. I went to many places for this purpose only. I have collected some data, but it's not sufficient for me to show it. I have to go again and again, but I don't get the exact persons over there. So again, I go there. I used to go in these places to find out the real yogis who are staying in the caves and all that. And they're bearing all the cold and the heat, and even though they're just tackling the animals and dangerous creatures. So I'm just on the line. So I want the blessings of Dr. B.C. Das sir, Dr. Selvamuthi sir, and Dr. Vinam sir, who has given a guidelines for research, which I don't know. I have done many things, but Dr. Vinam sir has just explained all the things how to make it patent. There are a lot of things I have done, but that is not reflected properly. So with all the guidance from you, I want to just follow that.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Swati madam, over to you. Thank you
Thank
for
you, sir.
everything.
Thank you. Sir, Dr. Neha Katuria, ma'am.
Namaste to everyone. As I joined last year, and from the last year, it was a great experience working with you all and with the management team. And I'm really enjoying doing whatever I'm doing, and I really want to be, a future for the future perspective. I want to be the part of institute as a teaching, as a therapy, as a research. As Vichitra sir said, we are moving towards the researchers and. To see the scientific aspect of what we are actually teaching to the students and learning itself, what is the scientific aspect of each and every yoga techniques and kriyas. If we can prove them, we can document them in a very nicer way, it will be very helpful for a yoga community to prove ourselves that yes, yoga is scientific, yoga is amazing, and it's not in history, it's modern, it's new. And this is the way we can work together, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's a great regards, and that's amazing program. It is a privilege for me to be a part of this, and sharing a screen with so eminent speakers and great teachers. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I request Dr. Neha Channel to, she has like wonderfully doing yoga practice session from past 6 days. So I want like she should share some words.
Thank you and namaste each and everyone. Those who are sharing breath with me early morning and daily from last 6 days. And as I am a homeopathic physician, but now I am a turned yoga teacher because I'm a yoga teacher from the soul. So I want you not only doing yoga or asanas in your daily practice, but change your lifestyle. First, follow the yam and the niyamas. Not only go for the asanas or the pranayam. First, start with the yam, the niyam, then asanas, pranayam, pratyahara. Main is the pratyahara. Then go for the antarang. Yam, dharana, dhyan, and finally the meditation, the samadhi. So I want you to be daily practice yam and niyam also, not only asanas. And thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
And please be with me. And I want all you to be not physically healthy, mentally and spiritually also. So work on not only for the physical level, go for mental and for the spiritual level. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Neha. Thank you so much. And now I request Dr. Vinamra Sharma, sir, to put a vote of thanks.
Before that, Swati.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to respond to these people.
Yes.
First thing is, we want your involvement in research. Since all the three of you mentioned that, yes, we would like to connect with Amity Institute of Indian Systems of Medicine. You are already connected as visiting faculty. So even in the research program, wherever there is involvement of yoga training, yoga therapy, so we will involve them. I think Swati and Vinamra will always connect with them. Dr. Das will give the guidance on that. Then the first part you mentioned about you want to do something in high altitude. You know, how the yogis live in those conditions, cold conditions. That's a very good thing. See, there was a paper, nature paper by Benson. And what he did, he took the yogis living in mountains. They do a practice known as Jeet Tummo Yoga. Jeet Tummo Yoga. The Nepalis, Tibetans, they do a yoga practice known as Ji Tumo Yoga. So in which they take breathing only. Pranayam is the main focus, and they do a few asanas. Then the experiment was you have to be without any clothing except you have to the towel that towel will be put around you in that cold condition, peak winter. The towel will be wetted in water and then it will be wound around you and you have to dry the cloth. So how many cloth you can dry, that means you have to bring heat from within the body, come to the surface, bring it to the surface and then warm it up. The towel should become dry. So this is the experiment they do. So the pranayam jitumo yoga, when they practice, they are able to generate so much heat and the cutaneous vasodilatation. Voluntarily, they are able to bring. Normally, cold will bring vasoconstriction. But these people, by voluntary exercise practice, yeah, they are able to cause dilatation of the blood vessels, cutaneous blood vessels. So the heat comes from the core to the surface and the towel gets dried up. So this Benson published this paper in Nature, and I think 1986 Nature publication. If you see Benson, Robert Benson. So such kind of experiment, we wanted to see if a common man like us practices yoga, because those people are practicing for 40 years, 50 years, and will we get some benefit? We are not doing the whole day the yoga. It is half an hour, 1 hour we practice. That is what even those people we found by that experiment that we are able to achieve some level of the thermotolerance, heat tolerance, cold tolerance we were able to get. Now, with regard to Neha Katuria, so we should do something on, you are doing homeopathy. So
Yes.
there are patients coming here. So you have a few patients who are only on homeopathy, another group homeopathy and yoga, but you see which parameters you want to measure, whether you want to look at molecular level, genomics level, proteomics level. So work with the team and then you have the patient population with you. So have the ethical committee clearance, they take their consent and then do this, whether the prognosis is better when you combine homeopathy with yoga. So first is your clinical prognosis you assess. You take hypertension or bronchitis or asthma in a fixed population where the age is fixed, like adult population or children population. So like this, you plan. We can help you, guide you in planning these experiments. Similarly, Neha Jainer, you can do, you can be a part of the team which does this yoga, whether they do meticulously, these patients are doing meticulously. So we can make a big program combining all this either in therapy or in the prophylactic aspects or promotive aspects. Go to Ayush Ministry or we can go to CCRON, Yoga and Naturopathy Council for Central Council for Yoga and Naturopathy, Research in Yoga and Naturopathy. So, but there are many ways we can do that. But then you people sit together, formulate, take the guidance. Because what we do has to be something unique, which has not been done. So we should look at the rational, scientific rational. If the patients with homeopathy and yoga gets a better benefit, why? How? So you should ask such questions and then understand the mechanism. Good. It was pleasure listening to all of you. Now, Das Sab, you can say a few words and then Vinambar can give the concluding remarks. So on behalf of Founder President, on behalf of Chancellors, Vice Chancellors, all members of Amity Fraternity, I compliment all those participants who have been attending this over a period of 5 days, 6 days, and all those resource persons who have helped us in this particular program, particularly Dr. Swati and Dr. Vinamra Sharma. Compliments to you. Now over to Dr. Das for a few words and then.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Salomurthy. At the outset, I will not repeat, but it is with I bring the blessings of our Honorable Founder President and the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor and for this successful workshop. So first of all, I thank all the experts and trainers I think I have attended the first day session quite long with Neha Jaina. So she is really fluent and very nice in demonstrating all the exercises that she showed. And because of the fact I remember my childhood school days, it was how many? It's a 50 years, more than 50, 55 years back, when I was in the fifth class, sixth class students in our school that time. After having the prayer, those who are interested to have their come into the uppends, we used to go in the uppends, so that the nikah, and then they should be ready with the in the open field, means that is with the dust and everything. So grass and dust and all, you have to practice for 1 hour all the exercise or all the asanas. Particularly, there are some 20 to 25 asanas. You have to, there is a trainer, and you have to follow very strict rules. And I was very interested, I was very good, but I had only problem with the Sirsasana. But I used to do all the asanas perfect, and I still did till my 60, 65 years. I did many of the asanas. I could slowly, as the years advances, I have to leave many of the asanas, only some asanas, because I was very good in Mayurasana. But then you have to have the pressure on your that it may uh, crack your bone and all. So doctors advise you cannot do it. You should be very careful. So I have to, as they had advanced, and I have to leave many of the exercises. I do only a limited 3, 4 only, which is allowed and which is right for me. And so that's why I know, and you have done many of the exercises and all the yoga practices very nicely. And thank you so much. And all other experts also, I couldn't have the time to attend many of the experts, including Dr. Didi Vichitra. So, but others also, those who have taken lectures, what Dr. Swati has said, so they are really excellent experts in their field. And it is nice that you also called Rajput. I didn't know that he attended, otherwise I could have attended few minutes there. So thank you, and thank you all the faculty and those who are the adjunct faculties, or those who are regular faculties. Of course, you both are there, and all others. I thank everybody, and it is nicely organized. It's a 5 days. I was wondering in the first day itself how it will run for 5 days, and where there will be really participants or not. There are because Binamra's mail was there that some students didn't come for the next session or something. So I was a little worried, but nicely maintained and nicely did. And it was concluding day was excellent with the Guru, Jagat Guru, Dilip ji, and none other than Dr. Silvamurthy. So it's an excellent concluding lectures. Both are excellent lectures, and all others also. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best. And once again, thank you all for the all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So I also want to, Vivek Jain is here, and I want to thanks to him also, because being a very small department, he has worked so hard. So Vivek Jain ji, please open your camera. Especially, he has done so much, like continuously, he's doing so much efforts, hard work for the development of this.
Certainly, thanks to Vivek. I have not met, perhaps. Did I meet him? Sometimes he might have come along with you or something. I don't remember. So,
Vivek ji, you can open your camera.
We want to see you.
Yeah.
Vivek ji?
Come in the video.
I think some problem might be, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
We may come appear later.
Go ahead. Remember.
Yeah. Vivek ji says few words. I think he's not able to hear us, sir.
Vivek ji, kindly unmute your mic.
Yes, you can.
Ma'am, there is some problem.
But you are visible. Thank you. You have done wonderful
Sir,
job.
there is some problem. Good afternoon to all present here. I am really grateful to give me this opportunity to speak. And sir, I thank to Dr. Swati ma'am and Dr. Vinamji for making this workshop highly meaningful and purposeful. In the present scenario, it is a need of hour. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I request, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. B.C. Das, sir, and Selvamurthy, sir. Thank you for blessing us. And now I request Dr. Vinamra Sharma, sir, to please put a vote of thanks for this valedictory ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. At the outset, I first we are thankful for our honorable founder, sir, Dr. Seiko Chauhan, sir. With the blessing, his blessing is always with us, with our institute, and we are all are flourishing under his guidance. So first of all, I will thank our honorable founder, sir, Dr. Seiko Chauhan. So our esteemed force, honorable Chancellor, sir, Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir, we are also thankful. We are also thankful our Honorable Vice Chancellor ma'am. With her guidance, we are doing activities of our institutes. We are also thankful our respected Dr. Sripal sir, Dr. B.C. Das sir. Sir are both sir are as like a mentor for us and the backbone of our institutes. We are always in support and under the able guidance we are doing everything. We are also thankful Dr. Swati Madan ma'am, Assistant Director, and with this our active collaboration we are performing each and every activities of the institute. We are also thankful our esteemed force, our visiting faculties who are supporting and means giving the lectures and try to give that best of their knowledge to all the students. And we are thankful for all the eminent speakers and who has conducted the session since morning to Dr. Neha Jainat since evening, Dr. D. Vichitra, and in between that motivation session by Dr. Neha Katuria, Professor Ishwar Bhardwaj sir, Dr. G.D. Sharma sir, Professor S. Rajput sir, Ms. Rishi Sharma, Ms. Sheher ma'am, and all the eminent speakers. I am heartily thankful. And I'm also thankful of our today's speaker, Dr. Guru Dilipji Maharaj, who has given the platform for our students of final year BSc. Our students are conducting their summer internship with his institute with the bird yoga community, and it is for that 30 days. They are actively involved. Students are interactive, and they are getting the knowledge from that his organizations. And he has also blessed today. So, with the permission of Dr. W. Lumul sir and Dr. B.C. Das sir, and Amity University is the partner for this 1 month events, which is organized by the Bird Yoga community for all 30 days. So, this is our place, and we are thankful to them. We are also thankful to all the participants, all the eminent participants, all the respective participants, all the faculties who attended this valued course and workshop and giving their valuable remarks throughout the sessions, and they have submitted their response and they are asked questions and always interactive during these sessions. We are also thankful to students because we have know that since 18th of June they have the even semester and semester exam. Still they are giving their time, valuable time, a part of their continuous learning or studying. They are also attending this workshop along with their study. So we are also thankful to the students who are submitting the assessment form. They are attending the seminar. They are interactive with the eminent speakers. They are asking the questions. Really, we are thankful. We are thankful with our support, Mr. Vivek Jainji, who is always with us, and continuously they have prepared our report for us, and the part of this, we are also thankful. So along with that, not least, we are thankful for our IT team, that Puneet Chauhanji is here. So his continuous support with us, and always try to sort that whatever that issues arise during the workshops. So at the last, I can say that each and every unit of this workshops have contributed that yoga as a whole. So they have contributed the philosophical aspect of yoga. Everyone has contributed its therapeutic aspects of yoga. Everyone has contributed in the research aspect of the yoga. So we are thankful. Really, this workshop is means adding some value added to our students, to the participants, and hope that we will bring this forward. So with the blessing of all the respected sirs, Dr. Sallusmur sir, VC Das sir, and all the participants here, my thanks to all.